Good evening from InvestSharp. This is Randy Smotone with your Friday, September the 10th market update. On the economic front, the only thing we had out today was the wholesale inventories, which aren't usually a big market mover. They actually showed inventories up 1.3% for July, which isn't really great. You really don't want inventories climbing, not in this economy. On deck for Monday will be the Treasury budget, which is at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. The dollar was up today. Gold and silver and oil were also up. The dollar was barely up, but it was up. And copper was down. Light sweet crude futures were up $2.20 to settle at $76.45 a barrel. So we did hit that $76 mark we've been watching for. The UUP, the dollar, you can see it right here. We're still down here, still got stuck. The gold line, the 50-day, we're still struggling here, and been in a pretty tight little range here on the dollar. Over to the West Texas Intermediate Crude point and figure chart, we hit the 76, which did put us back on a buy signal. We got as high today as 76.73, so we're back on a buy signal with a point and figure price objective per the chart of $85. The chart does it for you. I didn't calculate this out or dream up the number. And just in case you're not familiar with point and figure, and so, I mean, we'll see. We've got a downtrend line resistance here, so we're watching around this 79.80 level, see where we go from there. But we are back on our buy signal on oil, and energy stocks were doing well, especially rig was a nice little moneymaker today. We liked that one. Let's see, over to take a look at the Dow. Dow closed up 47 points to 10,462. S&P closed up 5 points to 1,109. Nasdaq closed up 6 points to 2242, and the Russell closed up 2 points to 636. S&P had the largest percent gain, and actually again today because it was the same yesterday, up 0.49%, and Nasdaq was the weakest, but still up 0.28%. Volume was pretty weak again today, not too surprising, wasn't too great. So looking at the Dow Jones, we're still kind of stuck around. We're basically had an inside day of yesterday. We never really got out, but we're still stuck about this 200. But we're still holding up fine. I mean, we look fine. This looks fine. So everything looks fine here, but we're not going anywhere fast. Some stocks are going places fast, but the overall market's not. Let's do the SPY. S&P 500, we did get above the downtrend line here. We've got the 200 above us, so we're watching for that 1,115, maybe up to the 1,120 level on the S&P. But again, we're holding up fine, and we printed the same high as yesterday. Nope, took out yesterday's high by a little bit, didn't we? Yep, just barely. Took out yesterday's high, just barely. So that's looking pretty good. Nasdaq, same thing. It's right around, hanging around this downtrend line. Got the 200 above it, but all of them are above the 50-day moving average, so that's promising. So that looks good. Even though we have been on quite a run here. So let's take a look at I'm going to look at the SPY. I'm going to look at a 20-minute or a 20-day, 60-minute chart. Sorry about that, 20-day, 60-minute chart. So if you look at the S&P, so here was the beginning of September 1st, and this is a 60-minute chart. So we've gone up here, we've touched, we've come down, we've really holding this uptrend line right here. We've kind of come down a little bit past it, but we're still closing above it. We're holding it on the 60-minute chart. So we're still here. Now it could be a wedge, right? Could be a rising wedge, could be bearish, and we fall back down. This is looking kind of iffy here. It's hard to tell, but we are struggling here at this 1,000, or not 1,000. I'm sorry. Back to the S&P. On the SPY at the 111.50 seems to be resistance around here. So we'll be watching for that. So I mean, we could break out to the upside here, but I don't know how much more we have to go. If this stops us like it did here and here, not a whole lot left there. Let's take a look at gold. GLD pulled them back, not on any here yesterday, and we did drop below the trend line. We definitely had more selling volume yesterday than we had buying volume today, but it's still holding up all right. even though the MACD is not looking that great. Silver looks better. Nice, pretty tight consolidation here. It's looking pretty good. Copper via the ETF, JJC, all they're looking at where I'm looking at the ETFs on all these. Copper, it was kind of due for a pullback. It's had a nice run, so I mean it's holding up really well. It again looks fine. Let's look at the moving averages. Yep, so it's still above all of them, above the 20 and the 50 here, so it looks good. Let's look at the FXE. So the FXE still struggling, still hanging out though. I hadn't moved hardly. It's a pretty tight consolidation here too. Not really moving much of anywhere on the Euro ETF FXE. VIX, same thing here on the VIX. We're still in this wedge. We've been in this wedge for we have been in it for a long time actually. Back in May, so we're still in it, going lower, but still there. And XLF financials still holding up. Let's look at the moving averages. So we got the 200-day above us as well as the 150, but they're, again, it's kind of a little doji, neutral, not really, equal buying and selling here. So, but financials were holding up all right today. It was a pretty decent day in the market overall. Wasn't too bad. And let's look at let's look at semis again. The SMH. So SMH down some more today. Let's look at the selling. Selling wasn't too bad though. Pretty light volume, so it was light selling. It didn't move a whole lot, so it's still hanging in there. We'll see if it can overcome this resistance here. Let's go take a look at the McClellan oscillator. All right, so now we were at 43. So we're still not really overbought yet. We could definitely, really need to be a little bit higher to be overbought. So, but we're in the overbought area, and no, thank you, not right now anyway. So let's go back to get out of here. Look at the sectors. Sorry about that. It was distracting. So 13 of the 16 sectors we follow finished in the green. The oil service index had the largest percent gain, up 2.74%. Semi index was the weakest, down 1.4%. And something we don't always do, but on Fridays I do a little different. So let's take a look at the futures here. This is a 1-year daily of the gold futures. So back down in this area, backwards about 1,050, 1,065 area, we had the central banks were buying gold. They were buying it down here. And we've been in this, you could say this might be a cup and a handle, and we're going to break out higher. Or you could say we're in a rising wedge that we're going to break down out of. Now, if you'll notice this MACD, we're making higher highs here. Well, we haven't here yet, but you'll notice the MACD keeps going lower. So I think we're definitely going to have more of a pullback in gold. Probably, I mean, this is 1,180 here. If we get to there, maybe we break down. I don't know, but I still think we have a chance to pull back further in gold since we've been on a pretty good run here, especially if this MACD keeps, and this takes some time to play out. It's not like it happened Monday or something, but silver's looking better. It's also been in this in December 09, we've been in this, staying pretty much hanging pretty tough here in this wedge as well, in this triangle. But the MACD looks much stronger on silver than it does on gold, so I prefer probably the silver plays here. And then copper, we broke out here. Let's pull this up. So we broke out here. Now we're coming down, probably going to retest this, downtrend line, see if it holds here. MACD looks all right. I mean, it is a little lower here than it was here, but it's looking okay for now. So copper's holding up all right. And of course, on Fridays, I don't do chart watch. I know, boo. But I will post my weekly watch list on Sunday evening. So let's go take a look at the current market signals. So we follow the point and figure chart for the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P. And there's no changes here. They're all on buy signals now, including the Russell even though I don't have it on my site. And here's the price objective. So, I mean, everything looks fine. Everything's holding up all right. We'll just have to see what next week's bring. It's, it's all about the economic news that comes out every week. So And that's the way it'll be again next week. All right, that is it for today. Have a great weekend, and thanks for watching.